morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My message today is titled Holy Relationships. And I actually got the title from Dyer's book, Power of Intention. And he mentions holy relationships in the book. And he defines every relationship as a holy relationship, and that really sang to my soul. The idea that if we start looking at each other as, and everything actually, as something that could be a holy relationship, then we are looking at it, like what I like to say, through the eyes of God. We're seeing it in a different perspective, a different light. And it's important for us to think about that. And today we're going to talk about that concept. But before we talk about holy relationships, I want to talk about how we got to the point of not seeing holy relationships. Because how many people this last week have gotten irritated with somebody at some point or another? Yeah. That would not be a holy relationship, right? Yeah. And although we have created this human condition, we also know that we end up going down this road of causing a lot of damage. Because believe it or not, even that one irritation that you had this week caused a ripple effect out into the universe, out into the consciousness of all of us. If one person gets irritated, it's going to affect everybody. And I've got some statistics on that coming up. But would you agree that we have, with our words and thoughts and actions, that we send out a damaging energy to this world? And we've all done it. And we've all been there. And we have to stop. We have to stop ourselves from getting into this place where we're disrespecting what God has created for us. I mean, if we start looking at everything like a holy relationship, then when we get irritated or we get disgusted with something or some condition on the human level, then what are we doing? We're doing that to God. We're doing it to God. And we have to think about that and put it in the forefronts of our minds so we don't end up in that. And this physical world we live in, we call it heaven on earth. And if we call it heaven on earth, then we have to respect it like heaven on earth. And we have to respect everything in it and everyone in it, whether we agree with somebody or not. However, at some point, we have all trashed its very existence by our thoughts, words, and actions. Now, that sounds harsh, and I'm not trying to put blame or shame or guilt on anybody. I don't want to do that. But it's like a wake-up call to let you know that we have to start thinking about all this. That moment that we start to get irritated, we need to take a breath and go, wait a minute, that's not where I want to be today. That's not how I want to express. That is not who I am as a spiritual child of God. And we have to move beyond that. And do we want to continue down this same path?
No.
I hope not. I hope nobody wants to. I hope everybody wants to improve their life and improve the world in which you live in, because that's what it's going to take. And you might be asking, well, how can I do this? How's that going to show up? But let's look at a few of the bumps in the road along the way. One of them is this. If you know me, I've always said no is an okay answer, right?
Right.
Yeah. Meaning, if I ask you to do something and you don't want to do it or you can't do it, it's okay to say no, right?
Right.
Yes, everybody say no. No. Yeah, that's right. Also, no is a one-word answer, meaning you don't have to give an answer why or why not, or a 30-page dissertation justifying the answer. No, you don't have to do that, right?
Right.
It's okay to say no. And we're going to practice. Let's say it together. It's okay to say no. Yeah. And if someone says no, we don't have the right to even ask them any questions about it. We have to leave it right there out of respect for another person. Because the minute we start asking questions, then we're taking it on as a personal no. Like, oh, they're saying no to me. Why are they saying no to me? This is not where we want to go, right?
Right.
We're already in that place of going out of the circle of holy relationships when we start doing that. And it's none of our business anyway why they say no. No is a one-word answer. No is okay. And we shouldn't expect an explanation. Can you do that? That's hard to do, isn't it?
Yes.
Because when somebody says they don't want to do something, or they can't do something that you want them to do, you don't really like that so much.
What's the age there that
all ages. See, we got to learn when we're young, or else it's just going to continue to be escalated more and more as we get older. And the older we get, the more we get our feelings hurt if somebody says no, which is not a holy relationship. We're just pushing that person away and discounting and disrespecting them. And that's where we have to take that breath. And if we teach them when they're young that it's okay to say no, but not defiantly, I know what you're getting at, but at the same time, if they really don't want to do something, then we need to figure out a way to rephrase it or change that direction to where they're more willing to be in cooperation with us as the adult in the situation. Is it always easy? No. Hey, I got 2 of them in there. You know, like 9 and 10 years old. Are you kidding me? And they're starting to remind me that they're almost preteen. I'm like, let's not go there yet. But, you know, it's hard. But we always think we have to know why, and we always think we have to have something justified. And so from the revealing word, Fillmore defined justice as this: when judgment is divorced from love and works from the head alone, there goes forth the human cry for justice. Isn't that true? Head alone, divorced, no love is disaster. Right?
Right.
And maybe we don't really think about like divorce in a marriage or whatever. But when we've divorced ourselves from being, not being an expression of holy relationships, then that's where the no love comes in. That's where we're working from our head instead of from our heart. We are no longer coming from that spiritual beingness that we are. And this is disconnecting us totally from source, from God. And he continues with this: in his mere human judgment, man, humankind, all of us, is hard and heartless. He deals out punishment without consideration of motive or cause, and justice goes awry. No one wants to be punished. No one wants to be judged, do you?
Nope.
And no one wants to face someone who is heartless. But we can do it. We can face somebody that we might label heartless by one little switch in our minds. That's saying that they're not heartless. We have to switch that idea that they're heartless, or that they're judging us, or that we're being judged. Because it's in our own mind that we've disconnected from the true essence of who we are. We're disconnected from God, from love, and we're seeing it all as trying to justify it, or looking at it like it's a judgment call or something. So, when justice and love meet at the heart center, there are balance, poise, and right thinking. Okay, there we go. We click off that small end mind. We come forth with the love that is in our hearts, that is the very existence of God, and we find that perfect balance. And we no longer see ourselves being judged or being, ridiculed or having to dig that in that place. And the perfect place to start is in our thinking. We have to change our thoughts first, right? We know this. Because if we want to speak different, act different, we have to change our thoughts. And we do that with the right thinking. And we do that by centering in on the love that God has given us. And so, if we block that natural flow of love, then it's hard to focus in on what the truth of us is. It's hard to focus in on seeing a holy relationship with someone who's just irritated you, or you feel like you got irritated, or you felt like you were judged, or whatever. But all that can be washed away. And so what happens in the human condition is we all end up with these little points of contention, don't we? We don't like it when somebody does something. We don't like it when this happens or that happens. Points of contention. Well, I have a point of contention that for me, that I disagree with, and it all kind of relates to the word no. And so I thought it was the perfect one to share. But this one: when did it become appropriate or polite to ignore someone and give no response? Yes, I've heard people say no response is a response, but is it? I say no. So the point is, it's like we all have something that will irritate us. If I ask somebody something and they never respond, I'm thinking to myself, okay, it's on them, I try to let it go, all that kind of thing. But I'm thinking to myself, if you don't want to do something, tell me no, right? We have to stand in the truth of who we are. And this is important for us because you can't even dream of somebody else as being a holy relationship if you can't hold that for yourself. You are a holy relationship of yourself. And how that happens is your own self-respect, your own love for yourself. And if you can't stand firm in what you want to do or don't want to do, and you can't say, yes, I'm willing to do this, or no, I'm not willing to do that, then you are weakening your own self. You are saying, oh, God made you stronger than me. I can't do that. It's not the truth. It's not the truth. We are all here to step out in God's love and be that essence of that perfect being. And the perfect being is that we're strong enough to hold true to what we want in life and don't want in life. If I give you a choice between apple pie and peach pie, and you don't like peach pie, you're going to say apple pie, right?
Right.
But if I say, here's the peach pie, eat it. I've seen people take the plate and sit there and pick at it and eat pieces because they can't say, no, I don't want the peach pie. That's ridiculous. I mean, if we all live in this world where we can respect each other and no is an okay answer, then we are honoring the idea of holy relationships. And it just doesn't go with, the word no. It doesn't just go with peach pie or apple pie. Warren's sitting there dreaming about peach pie now. Or peach cobbler, Karen. But it just doesn't even go with that. It goes with the idea that if we have to love and respect ourselves in order to love and respect another. You got me? Yeah. And it's huge. It really can be a powerful moment. So the deal about this is that we also all have free will. God has given us this idea of free will. We get to choose. But we forget. We just lay down and let other people choose for us. Or we don't stand in what we want to say or do in the moment. And so when you follow divine law, then you're going to find out that free will's okay. You're not being mean or disrespectful or putting anything on somebody that is not kind or loving. No, not if you're coming from the truth of yourself. And, we strive here to be the best spiritual beings we can. So if we're going to do that, then we need to bring forth that essence of who we are and claim it for ourselves. So can everybody here still say no is an okay answer?
No is an okay answer.
Right. All right. So let's look at when we are in that other place where we're not able to say no and we feel like, it's that person's fault or that person's fault, it usually falls in the realm of apathy. And this is a definition of apathy. Whoops, there's free will for you, sorry. Free will is a spiritual law and a spiritual gift that are the tools God has given us to live the best life we can possibly live. We do not adhere to understanding them, we lose our way. If we do not, we lose our connection with God. That's what I was saying. Right?
Right.
Okay, apathy. Apathy is a state of indifference characterized by a lack of emotion, interest, motivation, or concern. You don't really want to be apathetic, right? Because then you're not able to stand in your own conviction and say, this is what I like or don't like. I like peach pie better than apple pie, or vice versa. You won't be able to do that with someone who is having a discussion with you about God or what you believe. You won't be able to see beyond the physical and know that somebody is here as a holy relationship for you. So we have to look at this and say, hey, am I being apathetic? Like, am I expressing a lack of emotion, or am I coming from a different place? And a lot of times when we think of something like this, we think of people that we would call lazy or narcissistic or just plain out cold, right? And if we see that in somebody else, we have to be able to move beyond that. But first, let me give you a little bit more about apathy. Rooted in the Greek word, hold on, I gotta say it with me. Apathia.
Apathia.
Yeah. I always want to say apathia, but it's apathia. Meaning without passion. without passion. Do you want to be that person that has no passion?
No.
No. It is an emotional flat line where an individual feels disconnected from their goals, hobbies, and social surroundings. Now, yeah, some people might have a mental health condition or something like that that makes them feel depressed or makes them feel disconnected or whatever. But there are always ways to move beyond that and to stay in that idea that there is something more to life, and you can set your goals, you can have hobbies, you can have conversations, and you don't have to be judged. There's no judging in that situation, and that helps that person come out of that place of apathy. We don't want people to live in lack, and that is what can happen when you're in that state of mind, and you're not seeing the holy relationship that is there. The person themselves is missing out on the infinite abundance of all there is. And the best way to help somebody in that situation is not to be apathetic with them, not to say, oh yeah, you have this condition and so that's the way it is. No. Or, like, and I don't like to use this example, but sometimes I think of kids that claim themselves to be emu or whatever. That emotional down and depressed stuff. I mean, I know Megan's probably looking at it because I know, her age group, because our siblings, kids, our older kids, they went through, oldest one went through that. She's about your same age, so that's what I was thinking about her. But she, she would want to be all down and depressed, and it was like, that's not who you are. You've been raised in unity. You're alive, alert, awake, enthusiastic. And she would have her moments where it was like, I want to wear everything black. I want to be blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, whatever. The bad thing was that then you become, at that point, you start being sympathetic. And so sympathy is a little different. I think of it as like, here's apathy, here's sympathy. And we all will say, oh, I sympathize with you. Or, you see it all the time when somebody has someone that has made their transition, they'll say, oh, I sympathize with what you're going through. But sympathy is the feeling of sincere concern, pity, or sorrow for someone experiencing pain or misfortune. Everybody agree with that? Yeah. It is the other-oriented emotion where you acknowledge another person's suffering from a caring external viewpoint, often expressed through gestures like sending a card or offering kind words. And I say other-oriented because that means you're still seeing them as different than you. You see what I'm saying? You're not seeing them in the realm of being a holy relationship. You're seeing them as something else. And social media really has helped with the idea of sympathy because, how many times do we start looking at our posts and we put like the hug sign, or we put the praying hands, or we put, some kind of emoji that we're relating to what they're feeling or doing. Or I see people go back to the 30-page dissertation on how they've been through that, and this is the way it is. Huh? Yeah, and it's like this big old long thing. And the bad thing about that is you're still not in that frame of mind of seeing a holy relationship. You're still in the mind of the judgment that comes along the way. And have I been there? Yes. Yes, I have. And at the same time, we want to get beyond that. And I think of it not really being a real connection. And yet, that's what we've gotten to with social media. And we think that, like responding with praying hands, that we're actually connecting to whoever it is we're sending it to. But in reality, we haven't gone beyond that surface. We haven't gone beyond that apathy or the sympathy. We have to move into something more than that. And the something more is empathy. That's what we need to see holy relationships. The ability to recognize, understand, and share the feelings and perspectives of another person. Can you do that?
Yes.
Because it's important. Empathy goes beyond just acknowledging someone's situation from the sidelines, allowing you to emotionally resonate with them and see the world through their eyes. And what does that look like? Our prayer chaplains are here to pray with you. They've been trained to pray with you. In Unity, we pray with people all the time. Silent Unity prays with people 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And we pray a certain way. We don't pray focusing on what the condition is. We focus on the divine idea behind the condition. If you start saying all these health challenges, guess what? That's not what I'm going to focus on in my mind. I'm crossing them out. I'm crossing them out and saying, I'm focusing on health. Because that's what I see as a spiritual blessing in each and every person. That switches it to being empathetic. That switches it to lifting yourself into this holy relationship with someone else. And your experience in life has nothing to do with their experience in life, correct?
Correct.
It doesn't matter if you both have the exact same hip replacement or knee surgery or ingrown toenail. No, each experience is different.
That's right.
But we can be empathetic and say, oh, I feel for you, and I will lift you up and see that healing quickly. I will see you healthy and whole. We don't have to go down the road of, mine did that. It was, the grossest thing ever, well, whatever. You know what I'm saying? We have to start thinking in the realm of holy relationships. And that changes everything. Because empathy is where the real Christ connection happens. This is when we can claim and know the holy relationship truly is to us. What a holy relationship is to us. All of us need to see everyone and everything as a holy relationship. Everything. I know Miss Ashley doesn't like spiders, and Karen and Stephanie and us were talking about the spiders this morning because that foyer likes to collect spiders for some reason. We're hoping that pretty soon the bug guy will eradicate them. And we love those spiders, right? In the right place and time. But we cannot have them crawling all over our foyer and you walk in the door with webs. No. So, but where do I go on with this? That everything being a holy relationship. If you want to get rid of the spiders, you got to think of them as being a holy relationship. They're here to do some bit of good to something and to somewhere, but just not right in here. So even if you don't like something, you have to think of it as how can I change my thinking to be more empathetic and be in that place. It's huge. And it is that Christ connection that we can see in every living thing. The grass, some people are allergic to grass and don't want to be in the grass, but you can still view it as something beautiful that God has given us, right? Right. And Unity's fifth principle is all about making a difference, putting into action what we know and what we have and making a difference. And we have to do that by shifting our energy. And I love this because Wayne Dyer, in this same book, Power of Intention, he references this doctor, David Hawkins, who did extensive research on the energy of people and how it makes a difference. And here's what he proved. One person who vibrates to the energy of holy relationships, one person, meaning being non-judgmental of others, will counterbalance the negative energy of 90,000 people. Now, he proved this. And these are statistics that he's got his own book written on it and everything. But can we do this? Can we live every day in a non-judgmental way? Can we claim holy relationships with everybody?
We can, yes.
Yes, we can. It's possible. Do you believe that? And think about this. If one person can change 90,000 negative thoughts energy out there, then what could 10 people do? You see what I'm saying? And it might happen in a nanosecond, and it might happen all day long. But you're wiping out all of that doesn't need to be. And every time we claim a holy relationship for ourselves, we can know that we're changing 90,000 negative thoughts out there. Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
And then we should walk around patting ourselves on the back, right? Good job today. You did this 10 times. Oh, good job today. You did it twice. Oh, good job. You did it 20. It doesn't matter how many times, but we are changing the energy of consciousness and of the world. Now, it's divine energy, so it's in and through all of us. It is here to be the energy that we all share. And who wants to share in the good energy, the holy relationship energy? I do. don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's why it's important for us to claim holy relationship in everything we do. And if we start to slip, just take a breath and just say to yourself, holy relationship. Can you do that? Whenever we have a judgmental or negative thought about someone or something,